Hello and welcome. My name is Jao Kamanga, and this is the second video where we talk about the difference between procedure and object-oriented programming. So procedure programming and object-oriented are just ways of thinking about software development and program design. Remember, as I said, programming is just a matter of solving a problem that we have. So for example, if you wanted to program a music player for your computer, how would you approach these two different how would you approach how would you solve your problem using a programming language? So the way of thinking is either think about it in procedure or in object oriented way. I know there are other paradigms, but we'll focus much. Procedure and object oriented are different. In procedure, it's like you have a bunch of procedures that have to perform a specific task, and the whole program, it's all focused on the procedure or function. A function, remember, is just a bunch of statements that are within, if it contains a bunch of statements that are within a function or a procedure, as we say. Or on the other hand, in object-oriented programming, it's like you have an object, and each object has procedures within and its properties or its data, its various data. So think about the real world objects that you can see you can see around you. For example, I have a phone, a laptop, and a bag, and all that. All these can be these real world objects. We try to bring them into our program. So in object-oriented programming, it's like you try to take some real world objects. They may not be like real world objects as you can touch or feel them, because remember, when you want to program like a music player, so I have an object like a play button, a stop button, a next button. All these I can represent them as objects, and each object has its different characteristics. Like a play does something, that's its behavior and all that. So back to, I have a trivial example to illustrate all these. Imagine that I was trying to program a video game for a certain TV show that I like. I'll have these three different objects or characters, and this object, you can see it has its different properties, like its skin color, its shade, and this object as well, like its hair, its hair, its height, its shade, skin color as well. And this one, it's some different properties. You can see it has a skin tone that's different, and and all these, a heart that's different from this one, and this guy doesn't have a heart. All these are different properties for these three objects that I have. At the same time, this object performs different tasks. Like this object, for example, can scream, this guy cannot scream, this guy cannot scream. So all these can be within different objects. So I'll have one object, another object, and another object. Within an object, there will be different procedures or functions. A better way to visualize this is by looking at a program that I may have. So imagine that I have a program here, and then I have another program here. This program is procedural, or this program is object oriented. How are they different? A program in procedure, it just have a bunch of procedures, procedure A, procedure B. How a program that is object oriented has different objects, object A, object B, and object C. Each procedure just has some statements within, like, so that's where we say variables and programming. While on the other hand, an object will have different procedures, like procedure A, procedure B. At the same time, it will also have variables. So object-oriented programming, it's not that you just have a bunch of procedures or functions scattered around like this. You have different procedures that are within an object, and each object has properties or variables, and it also has different procedures or functions, as we can call them in C++. So there you have it. I know it may be a little abstract, but it will make much more sense when you start getting to coding. And C++, I think I said it once already, maybe, that C++ is procedural. That means programs in C++ can be both. It's hybrid. It can allow both procedural and object oriented. And in this course, we'll be focusing much on procedural part of it. We will not cover the object oriented as in programming in C++, but rather we just focus on procedural part of it. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video, where probably we'll start writing our face programs.